The Penguins take on the Lightning, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Tampa Bay. The Lightning are the $1.65 favorite, total at 6.5. We did see a nickel move toward Tampa in the early wagering. They open $1.60 up to $1.65. Total open and remains at 6.5. 63% of the consensus are leaning toward Tampa Bay. 73% shaded toward the over. Right now, Pittsburgh is plus 145 on the money line. The Lightning plus $1.50 on the puck line. We have Andrei Vasilevsky for the Lightning. Matt Murray for the Pens. Murray comes into this game with a 16-6-1 record, 285 goals against, and a .900 save percentage. Pittsburgh winners of 8 out of their last 10. They also rank in the top 10 in road scoring. We have 22 goals for Rust, 45 points plus 16. Evgeny Malkin, 38 assists, 54 points on the year. Pittsburgh, top 10 in offensive shots. And they rank first in shots allowed on the road. Now Tampa Bay on the other side, just 10 and 15 against the spread on their home ice. And of course, when I refer to the spread in the NHL, I'm referring to the puck line. Once again, Tampa Bay just 10 and 15 against the spread on their home ice. They also rank 16th in shots allowed at home. Total-wise, Tampa Bay 19 and 6 to the over at the Amalie Arena. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh 15 and 10 to the over when traveling. I'm going to lean Penguins plus 1.5 and the over 6.5 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Thursday's NHL action. Happy Thursday to you. The weekend is almost here. But before we dive into some more NHL hockey picks, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where once again we went 4-1 yesterday in our 5 premium picks on that website. It's going to put us at 10-2 in our last dozen extra daily picks, which is a package that I offer. That's only $2.99 through the end of the month. We're also 6-0 in our last 6 college basketball package plays on that site. If you want to check out that site, link for it is in the description section below. You may be wondering, why would I buy a package from Brock when he handicaps the entire slate for free? And you're exactly right. The problem with me handicapping every single game on the board, side, and total is that if you were to bet your hard-earned money on every single game on the board, side, and total, you are guaranteeing yourself failure. You're going to lose all of your money in the long run, and as a matter of fact, you're probably going to end up losing your money in the short run as well. The math becomes aggressively against you. The more games and action that you have, especially for betting every single game on the board. The books are way too smart. They want you to bet every single game. They're way too smart. They're way too sharp. They have too much money. They have so much money to be able to absorb that action, and you don't. So what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you. I break it down to just like 3 to 5 premium picks per day. They're high percentage picks, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, my current Patreon record is a whole lot better than it is handicapping every single game on the board, side, and total here on Patreon. If you want to check that out, once again, link for that site is in the description section below. And my record is on the homepage, patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Devils taking on the Flyers, 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop in South Philly. The Flyers are minus 235, total at 6. We saw a 10-cent move toward the Flyers. No real surprise there. They opened 225 up to minus 235. Total open and remains at 6 flat. 62% are leaning Flyers, 73% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Devils are plus 195 on the money line. Philadelphia plus $1.20 on the puck line. We have Brian Elliott for the Flyers and Mackenzie Blackwood for the Devils. Now, if you like the Devils in this matchup here, you're crazy. But Blackwood, 15-12-1 on the year, 904 save percentage. New Jersey guys, they rank in the top 5 in road offensive shots. I know they're banged up a little bit, but Blake Coleman, 19 goals a game, 10 assists, 29 points on the year. Meanwhile, total-wise, New Jersey, 5-2 to the over in their last 7. Meanwhile, 2 out of Philly's last 3 got over the number. I think New Jersey should keep it close here. This is an incredibly big price point for the Flyers. I'm going to lean Devils plus 1.5 and the over 6 goals in that contest. Next game, Kings, Islanders, 7 o'clock Long Island. The Islanders are minus $2, total at 5.5. We did see a nickel move toward New York in the early wagering. The Islanders open $1.95 up to minus 200, totals 5.5. 73% are leaning Islanders, 72% on the over. Right now the Kings are plus 170 on the money line. Islanders plus $1.45 on the puck line. We have Tom Greiss for the Islanders, Johnny Quick for the Kings. Quick comes into this game with an 11-20 record, 302 goals against, 895 save percentage. Meanwhile, Greiss on the other side, 14-7 on the year, 251 goals against, 922 save percentage. The Islanders are 16-7-4 at home. They rank in the top 5 in the NHL in goals allowed. They're giving up just 2.7 goals per contest. Brock Nelson, 21 goals on the year, 41 points. He's plus 11. And Matt Barzal, 26 assists, 44 points on the year for him. The Kings on the other side, just 18-4 on the road. They've dropped 8 out of their last 10 games. They rank in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 10 in goals allowed on the road. They're averaging just 2.3 goals per contest away from home. Now the Kings are 3-0-2 to the under in their last 5. New York 31-20 to the under overall for the year. I'm going to lean Islanders minus 1.5 and the under 5.5 in that game. Next matchup, Ducks taking on the Canadiens, 7 o'clock Montreal. The Canadiens are minus 150, total 5.5. 58% leaning Montreal, 74% on the over. Ducks are plus 130, Montreal plus 150. Carey Price for Montreal, John Gibson for the Ducks. Montreal 7-3 straight up in their last 10. Top 3 in home offensive shots, top 10 in home shots allowed. Meanwhile, Anaheim on the other side, 10-16-2 on the road, bottom 5 in the NHL in scoring. Total-wise, the Ducks are 15-13 to the over when traveling. Montreal 2-0 to the over in their last couple of games themselves. Give me the Canadiens minus 150 and the over 5.5 in that matchup. Next game, Golden Knights versus the Florida Panthers, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Golden Knights are $1.25, total 6.5. Florida's plus 105 on the money line. VGK plus $2 on the puck line. Florida 7-2 straight up in their last 9. Top 3 in the NHL in home scoring. Golden Knights, losers of 7 out of their last 10. They rank 18th in the NHL in road scoring. Florida's 20-6 to the over on their home ice. Give me the Panthers plus 105 and the over 6.5 in that contest. Next game, Detroit taking on the Sabres, 7 o'clock Buffalo. The Sabres are 220, totals at 6. 72% on Buffalo, 67% on the over. Right now, the Red Wings are plus 180 on the money line. Buffalo plus $1.15 on the puck line. Johansson for Buffalo, Bernier for the Red Wings. Buffalo's 15-9-3 at home. Meanwhile, Detroit, they are last in everything. Total-wise, Detroit 16-10 to the over when traveling. Give me Buffalo minus 1.5 and the over 6 goals in that contest. Next game, Avalanche versus the Senators. 7:30 Ottawa. Colorado's minus 210, total 6.5. Ottawa's plus $1.75. Colorado 125 on the puck line. Colorado first in scoring, top 10 in offensive shots. Ottawa on the other side, losers of 8 out of their last 10. They also rank in the bottom 3 in goals allowed. Colorado 31-21 to the over on the year. Give me the Avalanche minus 1.5 and the over 6.5 in that contest. Next game, Canucks versus the Wild, 8 o'clock Minnesota. The Wild open $1.15 up to minus 125, totals at 6. Vancouver's plus 105 on the road. Minnesota plus 185, laying the goal and a half. Minnesota bottom 5 in offensive shots, bottom 5 in goals allowed. Meanwhile, Vancouver on the other side, a little bit of a different story. They rank in the top 10 in scoring. They've also won 7 out of their last 10 games. The Canucks are 18-11 to the over away from home. I'm going to lean Vancouver plus 105 and the over 6 goals in that contest. Next game, it is going to be the Jets taking on the Blues, and that is going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern puck drop in St. Louis. The Blues are the $2 favorite, total at 6. Winnipeg's plus 170. The Blues 18-4-4 at home, top 5 in home goals allowed. Winnipeg losers of 8 out of their last 10, bottom 5 in shots allowed. Total-wise, Winnipeg 4-3 to the over in their last 7. St. Louis 6-2-1 to the over in their last 9. I'm going to lean Blues minus 1.5 and the over 6 goals in that contest. Next game, Predators taking on the Flames, 9 o'clock, Calgary. The Predators are minus 110, total 6.5. Nashville's 4-2 straight up in their last 6, top 3 in road scoring. Calgary on the other side, bottom 10 in goals allowed at home, 2-5 straight up in their last 7 themselves. 4-1 to the over in their last 5 is this Calgary team. They're also 16-10 to the over on their home ice. Meanwhile, Nashville on the other side, 18-8 to the over when traveling. I'm going to lean Nashville minus $1.10 and the over 6.5 in that game. Next contest, Carolina taking on Arizona, 9 o'clock Eastern puck drop. The Hurricanes are 120, total 5.5. Arizona's catching even money on the money line. Carolina top 10 in goals allowed, top 3 in shots allowed. Meanwhile, Arizona bottom 10 in scoring, bottom 10 in shots allowed on their home ice. 4 out of Arizona's last, Arizona is 4-1-1 to the under in their last 6. Meanwhile, Carolina 70% to the under in their last 10. I'm going to lean Hurricanes minus 120 and the under 5.5 in that contest. Next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be Sharks Oilers, 9:30 Edmonton. Edmonton's minus 180, totals at 6. Sharks are plus 160. Edmonton's 13-8-4 at home, 7-3 straight up in their last 10. Meanwhile, San Jose's dropped 5 out of their last 7. They're also just 9-14-3 on the road, bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 3 in offensive shots. The Oilers, 17-8 to the over on their home ice. I'm going to lean Edmonton minus 1.5 and the over 6 goals in that game. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon, where, once again, we went 4-1 in our premium picks yesterday on that website. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I'm going to definitely look forward to seeing you later today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.